Fitzpatrick is going to give us a presentation on cleaning and proper care of our cameras. That's something that's okay. It's something that's we all have to do. As soon as Joe gets ready, we'll.
Yeah. Everybody hear me okay?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. That was quite a slideshow that Jeff did, wasn't it? I'm looking forward to next month's presentation, View from Behind. I have about 20,000 bird pictures that will qualify for that, so I'm looking forward to doing them. Tonight we're going to talk about keeping your camera and lenses clean, how to clean them. So we'll cover a lot of camera cleaning techniques. And we'll look at the tools you need to do that with. The first tool you want to use is get yourself some microfiber cloths. They're available a lot of places. You see the places that sell things for eyeglasses. You see them online. You can get them in packages. You want to have a bunch of them because as they get dirty, you want to get rid of them. You don't want to be scraping up your lenses. Also, lens pens are very great. I love lens pens. They're kind of an all-purpose tool. One end has a carbon fiber tip on it that has carbon impregnated in it, so it's good for if you have grease or smudges on your lens, it will absorb them. Each time you put the cap back on the lens pen, it recharges and puts more carbon fiber on the tip. A lot of people don't know that. The other end is a camel hair's brush, which is very soft and fine. That's excellent. You can also get the microfiber cloths in a little pouch that you can hang from your camera strap. Carson is the one that made the original ones, and there's a couple other brands on the market now too. They're handy to have. But you got to watch with them that you keep it tucked up in so you don't wind up getting dirt on the microfiber cloth as you're walking around. Then there's the old standby lens cleaning tissues. They've been around longer than I have. They're good, but they're tough. They're dry and hard, so usually you have to moisten them with something. Also, just a regular painter's brush that you get from Home Depot in a small size is good for brushing things off on the body, not the glass elements, but the bodies itself. A rocket blower. Rocket's a brand name. There are other ones on the market. They come in a couple different sizes. They're handy for blowing things out of your camera and getting debris off. Canned air. That's kind of tough because it's very powerful. A lot of times they'll blow things in where you wanted to get it out. The next thing is for a solvent, you want to use some kind of alcohol. Oh, one slide. You want to use isopropyl alcohol, generally around 70 or 80%. You use a high concentrate alcohol because you're trying to get it to evaporate rapidly so it doesn't run down in the works of the camera. If you're going to clean your sensor, there's specialized tools. This is a set made by LensPen. There are others. But the best thing you can do is prevent the dirt from getting in there to begin with. Lens caps, camera body caps, rear caps, keep them on your equipment all the time unless you're actually shooting. This is the best way to prevent stuff from getting in there. When I'm changing lenses, if you see me in the field, as soon as the lens comes off the camera, it goes in the bag, the other one's going on, and the caps go right back on. That's how you keep them clean. Okay, now while I was researching for this, I checked with Nikon, I checked with Canon, I looked all over to get some recommendation of things, how to clean your camera and everything else. And then I went to the source that we all go to, the authoritative source. I checked on the internet. And what I found was a unique way to clean your camera, and I want to share that with you tonight. Now, we just use plain water. It's better if you got deionized water, but the water should be pretty clean when you're doing this technique. You thoroughly soak the camera and the lens in there until all the bubbles are gone so you know you have everything got in there. And then you can add some dishwashing liquid. I don't have dishwashing liquid, I have the dry powder, so I use the liquid that I used for the car wash instead. Works just as good, believe me. Now you want to thoroughly wash it. The trick here is, you can see, getting your finger in there to wipe out the inside. It's, you know, a thumb or finger, get it in there. If it's a smaller camera, like a mirrorless camera, you might have to use your pinky. But that's going to get it clean too. So that's important to do. Make sure you are really thorough at this stage. You want to get everything washed and all. And of course, once you have it all washed like that, you thoroughly wash it. Make sure they're all done.
Are you serious?
And put it on the phone. And then, of course, you want to wash them off. A good stiff spray from a garden hose is the best way because you get everything out of all the little crevices. And notice, you use a garden hose that fits perfectly in there. That's how you get the sensor clean. Well, that's it. And then, as somebody pointed out, they want you to have it all clean to sell it on eBay. Now, there are alternatives to that method, so well, let's look at some of the alternatives. We'll start looking at cleaning your lenses. The first thing you want to do when you clean a lens, we're going to start cleaning the lens elements. You want to get a soft brush, and you want to brush off any dirt or debris, because it's important that you get any grit or anything out of there. If you're using a microfiber cloth first, you're going to scrape the lens, you're going to be rubbing stuff into the lens. So you want to brush the lens off. You want to do that thoroughly. If you get one of these ones that also has a little blower in there, that's going to help you a little puff so you get it clean that way. Then the next thing is to use a clean microfiber cloth and carefully wipe the lens element. You don't have to apply a little pressure, but you're going to wipe it. And at that point, it'll usually be pretty clean and you won't have to go any further. If you see there are still smudges on there, what looks like oil or grease, then the next thing to do is pull out your lens pen. But first, what you can do is, before you get the lens pen, just try moistening the lens. Just breathe on it a little bit. Try not to have that kind of breath when you do it, but you want to get there, just blow on it a little bit. You'll have a little bit of moisture on the lens, and then you can wipe it with the microfiber cloth again. If that doesn't work, then you go to the lens pen. You're using the carbon tip, and the carbon will absorb any oil or anything like that. Once you've done that, you go back and you wipe it with the microfiber cloth again. If you still have something on there that you can't get off at this point, then you're going to have to go for more aggressive things. So from there, you're going to go to the isopropyl alcohol. Or you can just go to the other alcohol and just sit there and complain about what your lens is like. So you're going to moisten the microfiber cloth or lens tissue with the alcohol. You're not pouring the alcohol on the lens, you're putting it on the cloth. And then you're rubbing to get rid of whatever that oil or debris or whatever that's stuck on there. And at that point, it should be clean. Once you have the alcohol on there, and you can just wipe it off with the microfiber cloth. And that's about as far as you can go. Now, when you're doing this, don't forget the rear element. I see a lot of people clean their front element, then they're showing their job. I'm still getting spots on there. There's something dirty. Did you clean your rear element? No, I didn't. Well, that's probably what the problem is. So you want to do the same treatment, handle it the same way on the rear element. Rear elements typically don't get real dirty. They don't get grease or anything on it because usually the element's too far up to get your finger in there to put it on to begin with. So it's usually not quite as much of a problem. Okay, cleaning the lens and camera body. You use the same technique on both the lens body and the camera body. They're made of the same kind of materials, so why would you not? First thing to do is brush off debris. This is where that brush that you bought at Home Depot or Lowe's comes in. Get one like a little sash brush that's fairly stiff that you can brush with, and that will take care of the major debris. If you have stuff stuck down in crevices, an old toothbrush is good for that, to get the stuff out. And then from there also you can use a rocket blower. Now don't do it this way. If you're cleaning the body, have the body cap on the camera. You don't want to be throwing stuff inside. You're cleaning the outside of the camera. So when you're doing this, have your body cap on there. The only time you would take your body cap off is if you're attempting to clean in the film in the chamber in there. Okay? So you're going to blow it off with that, and you're going to try and get it cleaner yet. You can use that to get in the crevices. It's at this point that some people would use canned air. I prefer to do it with the rocket blower. I don't like using canned air at all. Some people love it. I've seen some professionals use it. I don't like how hard it dries because I find if it's little grains of sand or something, you use the air, it pushes it in more because it's not controlled, where with the squeeze blower you can control it. Okay, cleaning the contacts. You have a lot of problems, people have a lot of problems. Lens-to-body contacts, and you get camera errors and lens errors, so you need to keep them clean. Typically they just get a little bit of oil on them, so just wiping them off with a microfiber cloth is usually enough. If not, get yourself a pink pencil eraser. Pink because the pink ones are the non-abrasive ones. You don't want to use anything abrasive on the contacts because once you scratch them, they get dirtier faster, and then you're constantly cleaning them. So you have to use something non-abrasive. They're gold usually and they're soft. So you use a pink eraser and you just gently wipe on it, both on the lens and on the inside the camera chamber. You'll have the other contacts there and you just wipe them off. When you're doing the ones in the camera chamber, make sure the camera's upside down so you're wiping it this way, so if there's anything falls off the eraser, it's falling out of the body instead of into the body. The next thing would be to wipe off the camera body or lens body with a microfiber cloth. Don't use the ones you're using on your lens because this is a much dirtier surface. Usually this is what I use my old ones for. I'll take my old microfiber cloths and I'll use them to clean off the lens body and the camera body. If there's something that's too dirty to get off with a dry cloth, you can dampen the cloth a little bit with some water. If it's still not enough, you can put a little bit of dishwashing liquid on it, a little Dawn or Ivory liquid, just a little bit of that on there just to dampen it, and wipe off the lens or camera body with that. Clean your camera sensor. Now, I wish I had a little guy like this that came with the camera and he could clean the sensor for me. That'd be really cool. You could pick them out of your camera bag and put them on there and have them do it, but I didn't get one with mine. So, are you really sure you want to do it? You can get a sensor clean for about 50 bucks. Sonny's had him in his things. We have a guy come over a couple times a year from Miami, and that's one way to do it. If you want to do it yourself, you're going to need something to do it with, and you're going to need some kind of kit. Now, you can just buy wipes by themselves, but usually that's not enough. Delkin sells a nice kit, and also this is the lens paint kit. That's the one I have. That comes with a little lighted magnifying mirror that goes in the chamber there, so it lights up the inside. It's got a magnifying glass on it so you can see what you're doing, and it's got cutouts in the side so you can put the cleaning material in the side while you're doing it. So that's a nice way to go. Okay, the first thing you want to do, of course, you had the YouTube method you saw before. If you're using that, make sure when you buy that garden hose, you buy the size that fits properly in the lens chamber. The Nikon has a little smaller chamber than the Canon, so make sure you get the right one. First thing you want to do is charge the battery. When you're cleaning the sensor, the mirror has to stay up. It takes electrical power to do that. So you don't want the battery to fail halfway through and have that mirror come slamming down and break the mirror and your finger and everything else. So you have to have a fully charged battery before you start. Then you go into your camera menu and you'll have a place, usually in the setup menu, you'll have a choice for setting it in the lock mirror up for cleaning. And you want to do that. When you activate that, the mirror flips up and will stay up. And then you have access to the sensor, which is behind the mirror. And the first thing you want to do is blow up the debris if they're in there using something like a rocket blower. You're trying to keep the nozzle out of the chamber. Don't stick it in and do it, just keep it out. Gently blow some stuff in. Again, when you're doing this, don't do it sideways like the illustration. Have the camera upside down and be blowing up so the stuff falls out. A lot of cameras too, on the floor of the camera, there's a little piece of sticky material that the debris falls on when the camera does its self-cleaning sensor. So make sure you're blowing on there too to get anything loose down there out of it. Then you would actually do the cleaning with whatever kind of swab, either dry or wet swab that you're using. And usually they are sized specifically to the size of the sensor, so you're just doing one wipe across the sensor and that will clean it. And hopefully that'll get it off. If it's dirtier than that, I strongly suggest you send it to somebody and have them work on it, because they're very expensive to replace those sensors. Okay, cleaning your tripod. That's the next thing. A lot of us, we shoot birds, we get out in the water with our tripods, we're out in the salt water, we're in sandy conditions and everything else. When I go home, the first thing I do is get out the garden hose and I wash it down. I get the salt out of there, I get debris off of there, and everything else. I've yet to see a tripod that isn't a problem where you can put water on it. They can all get wet, they're built up that way. If it's really dirty, you might have to disassemble the tripod. This is especially true if you have twist locks. There's a lot of parts in twist locks, and they have very, very precision parts. So you get dust in there, and dirt in there, and sand in there, it can be a mess. So generally, you have to disassemble them to use it. That's one reason I don't use twist locks, I use flip locks. Flip locks are like an old model 1911 pistol. You can use them under almost any conditions, and they'll still work. Okay, cleaning the crevices again around whatever parts you have in the tripod body and the tripod head. You can generally do that with a toothbrush. The toothbrush I use isn't quite that new though. Then you can wipe it down with a damp cloth. Again, if it's real dirty, you can put a little ivory liquid or something like that on the damp cloth to get anything that's really sticky on there. After you clean the tripod, this is a good time to check the connection between the tripod head and the body. Sometimes they have a tendency to get loose, especially if it's a type that doesn't have locking set screws. So while you're at it, you have the thing in front of you, and you're at home instead of out in the field, this is a good time to make sure that connection is screwed nice and tight. If you remove your tripod plate, if you don't keep it on your camera body, if you take it off every time, put it back on the ball head. That way you'll know where it is the next time you go to use it. See, too many people, they get out in the field and they take their tripod out of the bag and the plate isn't there and it isn't on the camera either. So now they've drug a tripod out into the field that's of absolutely no use to them. So either get in the habit of leaving it on your camera body, or when you take it off, put it right on the ball head. That way you'll know where it is. If it takes a wrench to do that, make sure you keep the wrench handy too. Then you want to dry it thoroughly before storing it. Make sure it's dry before you collapse it. Keep it open, make sure it gets plenty dry, then close it up and store it however you do. Any questions? No questions? Okay. There's our disclaimer. They were all the photograph of all the cameras that have been cleaned with that first method I showed you. So. Thank you.
There's a question.
Thank you so much, Jay. It's something we can all use, that's for sure. Yes, that was a joke. Also, DPI-SIG is not responsible for anything you saw tonight. Thank you.
Really? We need a disclaimer for that?
Yeah.
I had one on there, Larry.
Sonny asked me to announce the new members tonight. I thought it was the least I could do considering what I'm putting through.
Great.
Correct me if this pronunciation is wrong. We have 3 new members. John Flamange. Is that right? Flameng?
Yes.
Okay. Dick Murray and Erica Pinto. Welcome to the club.
I'll let you do the honors, pick the first one, and then take it around and get some more. Yeah, you're not allowed to pull your own. Take this one. I need 14 of them. We have 14 door prizes tonight. And Jeff is going around, and we'll get them pulled. And the first number is 8286. 8286, very good. Run on up and pick out anything you want. It's an honor system, go ahead. I shouldn't say that, then somebody will. No, we trust everybody here. That's for sure. Well, I may have stretched that a little bit too much.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Jeff, I need a ticket. You gotta come back around this way. After what you did to me in that slideshow, I'm gonna give you a hard time. Which one? I need 14 total. Okay. What do you mean, OG? All you're out there doing is taking tickets. Okay, the next one is 82. Sounds familiar. 89. 8289. I hear somebody? You got it. Very good. Another winner. Every ticket's a winner. Now we got them stacked up there. We're going to have to... There we go. There we go. All right. And the next one. You're so busy you can't check your own ticket, can you? No, that's okay. 7964. Oh, that was close. All right. Real wonderful. Winner in every ticket. Drill won't take very long. Okay. 82, 92. 8292. Very good. I want to remind you the next theme pictures for our theme is a view from behind. And our next meeting is November the 10th. All right, we're doing another one. Well, I guess we've done 4, we need 14 total. And the next ticket is 8291. 8291. Larry! You won, all right. See, after Dave, oh, we gotta check the ticket. Oh, okay. No, Larry would never cheat. I've known Larry, he would never cheat. At our next meeting, we'll have the judging for our third competition. So that's always exciting. 8295. All right. Just push Larry out of the road. You didn't take your own book. By the way, Larry's book is signed. That's a signed copy that we have. Somebody already took it. Always the first thing to go is Larry's book. Really a hot item. It is.
I got more.
In fact, Artie Morris's thing is probably still up there. They took yours first. 82, 82. 8282. 8282. Going once. Going twice. Gotta pick another ticket. 8282. Disqualified. All right. 8109.
That's me.
You won? 8109? Yeah, it could be. Let me double check that. Go ahead, Jeff. All we need is one more ticket. All right, I'll verify Jeff did have that ticket. So, all right, we'll hurry him along here, though. Did you have 8109, Jeff? I just wanted to get it out of my hand. I wasn't. No. I wasn't sure whether I 7985. 7985. All right. No, I just still had the ticket in my hand. That was all. We get a lot of grunts and groans over at that table. It must be getting awful close. This is probably going to be right there. This is it. You girls ready? 82. I just started. They're unhappy already. 8287. All right, there you are. I knew it was over there. Priscilla. All right. We'll have to give them a minute up there. We don't want any fighting. We don't have hospitalization for our member. We've had a couple of of members asked me if we're going to have a workshop or a group on smartphone photography. A couple of people are talking about it. All we need to do is get a, as I've always said, DPI-SIG will do anything the members want to do, anything. So if you're interested, talk to somebody else that's interested. All it takes is 2 or 3 people. We'll find you a location, and you can have a workshop on smartphone photography. 7972. 7972. Oh, very good. All right. Priscilla, you won and then leave? Just like that? You can't do that. You have to stay till the end now. Congratulations on winning. 7966. All right. There should be 3 left when you're, is there 3 left? All right, the count is right. Very good. Three left. All right, we're in good shape. Jeff can count. 82, 85. Very good. When you get ready to leave, which we have 2 more tickets, be sure and tuck your strings in your badge if you would. That really helps the ladies up there at the table in putting them away. And the next number is 8301. Oh, so that was close. Bob, you got one? Very good. All right, next to the last one, but you got it, right, Bob? And don't everybody get up, because I want to make sure we got a winner here. And the last number, 7980. We got a winner, we got a winner. Very good, Harold. Thank you for coming. Drive safe. We'll see you all on November the